Good morning, guys, or good lunch, or good evening, depending on where you are. I know you're connecting from all over the place. So welcome to this Magnetic Actor webinar. We will start straight away, and we will look at the 3 steps to be 100% instinctive when you act, even under pressure. All right, so let me just start by saying that you are in the right place if you're an actor and you're struggling with being 100% instinctive and getting consistently in the zone. And a lot of singers also join us and other artists, so that's fine, but the majority of you guys are actors. So you're also in the right place if you feel like you have an incredible potential and talent inside, but you haven't really figured out a way to show up that way when you audition or when you're on set. And you're also in the right place if you want to be instinctive once and for all, so you can act with ease rather than with pain. Okay. All right, so this webinar is not for you, though, if you love the type of acting that is really controlled and method-based. I was trying to mix up controlled and method, it's controlled. So if you plan on watching this entire webinar without doing the exercises, it's not for you either. You really need to experiment this. And also, this is not for you if you want to learn something new. So what we're going to do together is really unlearn and be reminded of what you deep down already know. But I will not teach you anything new. All right, so my promise to you today is that everything that I will coach you on has already been tested and proven to work. Nothing we will work on today is based on a method that I would teach you, as I said before, and that you would need to learn. And I also promise that I will deliver as much value as humanly possible in this 60-minute webinar, and we might go a little bit over time, just so you know. If you're part of this live, you will get a recording. So if you have to leave at the end and I'm going over time, you'll get the recording so that you can see the end of it. And also, if you want to take this training further and go deeper, I'll definitely invite you for an opportunity to see that together for a full program at the end of this webinar. All right, so in return, I ask that you try out the new coaching you will get today, so that you do the exercises rather than just watch the exercises, and that you take notes so that you can begin to implement really what you discover here today straight away. All right, so the ways to make this work is that you will first do what I'm doing right now, which is turn off your email. Set up your camera in a quiet room and turn off the phone, the emails, the apps, so you can devote your full attention to this training, right? Because if you have a bunch of robots around you, you won't really be able to be present. You'll be all over the place. And big part of what we're going to do today is work on being fully present. So it's going to start with giving this your full attention. All right, so if you're watching this on your phone, don't hold it, right? Put it somewhere so that you can do the exercises and you can be hands-free. If you try to do the exercises and you're holding it, it's not going to work. All right, so during this webinar, you will discover why you don't always have access to your instinct and where it's hiding. Okay, the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid if you want to be an instinctive actor, and the very simple way to reset your instrument, and I will explain what resetting means in a bit, so you can be 100% instinctive and always in the zone to book the roles you actually want. Okay, so there'll be some of you are in my Facebook group and already know that they want to be part of this full program. So I designed a couple bonuses for the ones who want to take action straight away. So the first one is the Magnetic Headshot Fun. So this is really about getting unique headshots that impact and that are painless in the experience of doing the headshot session. So I've noticed that there is really a lot of actors who complain about the process of doing the headshots, that they don't really like it, that it depends on how nice the photographer is with them. And so this is really a way for you to really have fun, to own those sessions, to get your uniqueness there, and to have really impactful headshots that will get you in the room with casting directors. All right, now our other bonus for fast action takers only is the killer reel. So this is a way to get a powerful reel that will make you undeniable to casting. So you're going to learn how to quickly make a reel or upgrade your existing reel so that when casting sees you or when directors see you, they really have to have you or have to see you. And I want you guys to vote in the chat. You can vote for which bonus you're choosing, whether you want the killer reel or whether you want the magnetic headshot bonus. Let me know whether you want bonus 1 or 2 in the chat. Okay, you can vote. What is it that you want? And then let's start. So what is your instinct and where is it? So we're gonna do a first exercise. I'm gonna ask you to stand up, and I'm giving you about 10 seconds to do that. So stand up and close your eyes, and you've seen this rope. And I'm gonna ask you to imagine that I'm gonna put this rope tight around your feet, and then I'm gonna go around your knees, and I'm gonna go around your thighs and your hips, and it's tight and it's a thick rope. I'm gonna go around your belly, your arms are taken in there, around your chest and your neck, and we're gonna stop there, all right? And I want you guys to just check in with yourself and be in touch with what's the sensation that you're feeling right now when you're bound with this huge rope, huge and tight rope around you. All right, so get that sensation clear. Now you can open your eyes and we're gonna talk about instinct. Stay in the rope, don't sit down, stand and stay in the rope. Instinct is following an impulse, no matter how it is, how big it is, how crazy it is, how silly it is, and just going with it, no matter where it goes. So of course, can you follow an impulse and an instinct when you're in that rope? No. Instinct is also surfing the wave that, you know, something's happening, a circumstance comes, and you just go with it. And you let it take you where it's gonna take you, trusting that you have an instinct that will pick you up, all right? So again, can you do those two things when you have this rope around you? No. So what is this rope that I'm referring to? And now you can sit down with me as if the rope melted. This rope, and we'll discuss it later on a little more together, this rope is really an analogy to let you feel and experiment what sometimes our conditioning does to us. It binds us, it restrains us, it constricts us. So I'll get deeper again into what is this rope made of and why it's there, and you'll start getting a little bit this analogy. But I just wanted to let you guys experiment it for now. All right, so what is resetting? Okay, so resetting is obviously a way to let loose of that rope, okay? And it's resetting your instrument. So let's distinguish first what resetting is and what it's not. A reboot and a restart, for example, are just, you know, if your TV is not working or your computer's not working, you're going to press the switch on and off button, and you're going to reboot or restart your machine. And it won't do anything to the inside of the machine. It's just going to turn it off and on. What resetting will do to a machine is it will get rid of all the circuits and wiring that are not necessary for the machine, that are toxic, that are making it not work. And it will restore the original settings of your computer so that it can start from where it was meant to start in the first place. So this is what we're going to be talking about together during this webinar, is resetting. So finding a way to really undo all this roping mechanism that you have around you so that you can access your real self, which is instinct. All right. So resetting my instrument to be instinctive rather than resistance was the #1 way that I started to get in the zone and book. But it wasn't just discovering the instinct itself that changed everything and made the biggest impact on my career. It was what I did with my resistance and my instinct once I could tap into it that mattered the most. All right, so for those who don't know about me, let me just give you a little bit of a quick explanation. So I'm a mom of 2, I'm a wife, I'm a coach, and I'm a director. And when I'm not helping actors with their instinct, I hang out with these guys. So there's my little 3-year-old Tiger and 11-year-old Elvis. And yeah, if I'm not hanging out with them, I'm in coffee shops writing. So you get a little bit of who I am. And why should you listen to me? Again, for those who don't know my work and who are just meeting me, I work with a lot of actors. I work with directors. I work with dancers. I work with singers. So you can see here Carlos Leal, Caitlin Gerard in American Crime, Owen Wilson. There's some French actress there. Viet Dang is a choreographer. Susana Hornos is from Spain. Laura Spencer from the US. And Brittany Allen here is from Canada. So you'll have access to the website with a lot of testimonials, so you'll be able to dive deeper into that. But the reason I'm showing you that is not to brag, it's just to say that I've been around, I do stuff, and it does work. And that's why it might be a good idea to consider spending an hour together and listening to what I can offer. All right, so these actors got the results they had, the successful results they had, because they reset their instrument. So how did it happen for me? What's my story? 20 years ago, I was in Paris and I wasn't free. I was completely restrained. All I had was a desire to be instinctive, in the zone, and free when I acted. So let's flash back and see what actually happened in Paris. So I think the word I chose to summarize all the feelings I had about acting was that I was an anxious actress, always training to get better and to book work, right? I had a burning desire to be great, to be 100% instinctive, and I wanted to book a lot and I wanted to be fulfilled. And I was in a studio in Paris, and some of you might have heard this story already, and I remember seeing an actress in my studio, an acting studio, who was really instinctive all the time. She was just in the zone. And I was in a place where I was doing a lot of work. It was a lot of hard work, but I never got to that place where it seemed like I was flying. And she was flying. So I had a very clear vision of what I wanted and where I was at. And there was a gap in between that. So I took a lot of acting classes and they didn't help. I spent some time and money on that, of course. Before acting, I did some 6 years of university where I specialized in human resource. So a lot of my background was a lot of psychology and coaching already. So I kind of had a determination to figure out what was in that gap between me doing all the work, taking all the classes, spending all the energy, and not being able to be as instinctive. It was bugging me. So I was kind of determined to figure that out. And my actor friends and my husband, who's also an actor, thought really that there was no way to be 100% instinctive. And I had proof. It was pretty obvious to me. My friend in my acting studio, Aurélie, was that way. So I knew it was possible. So I just remember thinking, I'm going to crack my instinct no matter what people think, no matter if they believe it's doable. I know it is because of my background. There's no way that all the actors are suffering so much and doing so much hard work and in so much pain. I'm going to crack the code on the instinct. So the flashback is, so in 1999, I realized I'm not instinctive and I tried harder. I try to fix myself. And I try everything out there. I try some camera, improv, actor studio, Meisner, Batson, singing. I try everything that's out there. Casting workshops, and no success. I learned a lot. It was instructive. It was a lot of great information about acting, but I didn't get to where I wanted to get, which was to crack my instinct. So in 2003, finally, out of all the research that I'm taking and doing, I figure out a path to my instinct. I have like a direct access to my instinct. And I'm super excited. And I remember when I found the trick, I used to still go to the bathroom and do it. And I could always, always, always reach my instinct. And so that was great. But then I had a major audition for lead role with Luc Besson. And the actress that had the role, it was a big role, was pregnant, and they were looking for someone at the last minute. I knew the casting director. She liked my work. I wasn't a terrible actress. It was just not 100% instinctive. And she called me in and wanted me to cry on a specific line in the scene. And, we did 1 take, 2 take, maybe 4 or 5 takes, and I could never get there. And I remember the sensation and her moving from the camera and going, "Jo, you're an actress. Just press the crying button. I need you to cry here. This role is for you. If you can do this, we're just looking to replace an actress." And I was in Paris. It was an English role. There wasn't that many of us. I was the type. I couldn't have gotten it. And I wasn't able, during this huge opportunity that could have changed everything, I wasn't able to show up. I wasn't able to rely on my instrument and on that instinct that I found. So that was very frustrating. And I started getting really serious about my research to crack my instinct, right? And by my instrument, I became 100% instinctive in the zone, even under pressure. So then I'm in Spain by then. I have the best agent in Spain. I get cast in the lead role in a feature with Danny Glover and Robert Englund. I get an award, and by 2010, I'm very excited about this, and I decide to only coach and direct actors to transmit what I found out. So let's talk about the benefits of a reset instrument. What a reset instrument does to you is it melts the resistance, that rope that we were talking about. And then it reconnects you to your instinct so that you can get in the zone 100% of the time. A reset instrument, in pressured and demanding auditions and set, you can be completely free using the stress and the acting blocks, going towards that. So remember, resetting is really getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't serve your machine and bringing back what it was meant to be, right? So there's no longer any ropes that tie you up and bind you. Reset means you can move your arms, right? You can feel your impulses and go with them. All right, casting directors get really excited when they see an actor who's fully alive and fully instinctive. So you become undeniable in the room, and that is priceless because they have to have you. It's extremely rare to see actors who can get in the zone like that. So when they see it, they want it. Most importantly, I think there's no longer this rope that is all around your instrument, right? You're no longer people pleasing, feeling not good enough, feeling doubts, lost, or even sometimes like a failure. I hear actors say that a lot. If I can't do this, I'll feel like a failure. Sometimes actors are telling me they're going crazy when we start to work together, feeling desperate, or worse, sometimes even wanting to quit. So being an actor with a reset instrument really goes from having a painful acting experience to a blissful one. So now when your instrument is reset, you can enjoy being free with ease. There's no more hard work. You can have fun when you act. You're fulfilled because you book. And, by the way, you can pay your bills. That rope is loose. It's no longer around you. All right. Let's dive in with 3 major mistakes to avoid with your instincts. So I am going to check who would like to work. All right, let me see. All right, let's see, Justine and Angela and a man. Jacob, I'm gonna promote you guys so that we can see you. Hi, Justine. Hi, Jacob. And then let's bring Angela. All right. Thanks for being volunteers. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, I can hear you too. Justine, can I hear your voice? Justine, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Yes,
I couldn't
great.
before.
Okay, and Angela, can you hear me? Can I hear your voice? Can you say something, Angela?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. You didn't hear me all this time before?
Excuse me. Yeah. No, I could. Suddenly
Okay,
I couldn't listen to you, but now I can.
Perfect. All right. So let's do a little exercise together. To talk about mistake number one, I'm going to ask each of you to do an exercise. And again, if you're not on camera right now, I'm going to ask all of you to do this exercise, because watching this exercise without doing it will not make you experience anything. It'll be a total waste of your time. So let me ask you first, and if you're not on camera, you can answer this in the chat. What is your level of presence for the moment, Jacob? If I'm going to ask you on the spot, you're in the hot seat, I'm going to ask you to do an exercise. How present are you?
Like rating out of 10?
Yeah.
I'd say 7-ish.
Okay, all right. And how resistant are you?
Resistant to what you're saying? Resistant to?
Oh, you know, whatever tension or stress or fear or, you know, unalignment is there.
Yeah. I don't know, 6 out of 10 probably.
Okay, all right. How about Justine?
I feel like I'm probably 6%, number 6 present,
Yeah?
and probably number 4 resistant.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. How about Angela?
I think I'm an 8%, and I think a 2 resistant.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is not to judge any of it. This is just to check where you are now, and then we'll do another check later after the exercise. Now, let me take a look at the chat for all of you guys who were just not on the screen, but yeah, you can share. Jennifer says she's an 8 present, 5 on resistant, and you can all share it in there so that you can see the change afterwards. Make sure that you assess how present you are and how resistant you are, okay? All right, so now, and I can see that everyone is responding, so that's great. Keep doing that, guys, so we're all part of this. So what I'm gonna ask you to do now is to close your eyes and find a place where you can lay down, or at least that you have support for your back. All right, and close your eyes at all times during this session. Take a couple deep breaths. Breathe out what you don't need in this moment.
Oh.
Breathe out again. There you go, Justine. All right, and I'm going to start with Justine, and I'm going to mute Angela and Jacob. Everybody does this exercise at the same time. So keep your eyes closed, Justine. I can see you perfectly. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to scan your instrument from head to toe. And scan it, so observe it, go through it, and tell me, Justine, which sensation, physical sensation, is the most present for the moment?
I feel like there's like a palpitation, almost like a heartbeat in my solar plexus.
Okay, all right, so we're going to start with that. Can you give it a name that is non-descriptive? You know, it can be Oliver, tree, dinosaur, it doesn't matter. Just be in touch with your palpitation and just give it a name. And everybody does this for themselves.
Okay, Daniel.
Okay, what's the intensity on 0 to 10?
8.
Okay, what's the color?
Navy blue.
All right, what's the shape?
Like a giant tree.
Okay. What's the material?
Corduroy.
Okay. And how old were you the first time you felt this sensation?
Seven.
Okay, and what's happening? Who are you with?
On a vacation with my mom and her boyfriend, and I go into her room because I have a nightmare, and she's having sex with her boyfriend and she's screaming at me to get out.
Okay, how are you feeling in that moment?
I'm feeling panicked. I'm feeling frozen. I'm feeling terrified.
Okay. What did you want to do or say in that precise moment from your 7-year-old perspective, not from your adult perspective now, but right there in that room, they're having sex and you're terrified. What did you want to do or say that you didn't do or say in that moment?
Stop that. Help me.
Stop that and help me. Okay, so take a deep breath. Hold it. And you can all do this at the same time. And now see yourself saying that. Stop doing that and help me. And loop that script of you being in their room, yelling or crying or whatever comes to mind, and do it fully. And you're breathing again. So you're breathing again, Justine, right?
What am I supposed to do? Hold it or breathe? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Hold it. You can keep your eyes closed so you keep your attention inside.
Okay.
So you're going to take a deep breath and hold it. And as you hold it for as long as you can, you're going to see yourself 7 years old in that room telling them to stop it and to help you. And let yourself say it in as many ways as you want. And you might be physical, you might be crying and yelling. It doesn't matter. Just follow what your instinct is telling you. Okay? So take your deep breath in, hold it, and loop your script.
Am I supposed to do it out loud or in my head?
No, in your head.
Okay, thank you.
Start again. Start again. Take a deep breath in and just watch yourself doing that. All right, and you're breathing again, apparently, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, Justine. You're going to do another round as I continue with Jacob. Keep your eyes closed all the time. Don't open them. Because every time you'll open your eyes, you'll get out of your body sensations. And what we want you to do is to go inside now, okay? Now I'm going to continue with Jacob. And you all do and follow the same instructions. Okay, Jacob. Scan your instrument from head to toe and tell me which sensation is the most present sensation right now.
Little butterflies in the chest.
In your chest, okay. Give it a name.
Joe.
Okay. What's the intensity?
7.
Okay. Color,
Blue.
the shape.
Sharp triangle.
All right. And the material?
Cotton.
Okay. All right. So you've all identified the sensation. Now I'm going to ask you, how old were you the first time you felt this sensation?
6 or 7.
Okay. And what is happening?
I am at a public speaking event, ready to do a speech.
Okay. And how are you feeling?
Like I want to run and hide.
Okay. So that's what you wanted to do, but how are you feeling in that moment?
Nervous, shy.
Okay. All right. So I think you might have answered the question already, but I'm still going to ask you, was there something that you wanted to say in that moment from your 6 or 7-year-old perspective, or something that you wanted to do that you didn't do? And what is it?
Mm-hmm. I think to say it would be to the people watching it, just laugh and just like me.
So that's the outcome you wanted out of it. But initially you said, I wanted to run and hide.
Right.
So I think that we're looking for, what I'm trying to say is that we're looking for the impulse you had in that moment, feeling the nerves and the shyness. What's the impulse you didn't go for? Was that run and hide?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in, hold it, and see yourself running away and hiding. And loop it, the situation, as many times as you can. And everybody does the same exercise. Hold. And let me know when you're breathing again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, how's the sensation now, Jacob?
I'd say it's dropped down to like a 3 or a 4.
Okay, all right. Let's do one last round. I'm going to do it with Angela, but you guys keep doing it, everybody. And sometimes you scan your instrument and you bump up against the same sensation that you've already worked on. And that's perfectly fine. If it's there or if it increases, and if it's still the biggest, go back to it. That's not a problem. All right. So Angela, when you scan your instrument, what's the most present sensation right now?
I feel impression in my trapezium.
Okay. And can you give it a name?
Jack.
Okay. An intensity?
7.
All right. A color?
It's purple. Dark purple.
Okay. A shape?
It's like a bar.
Okay. And a material?
Metallic.
Okay. All right. So you all have been with your sensation. Now ask yourself, how old were you the first time you felt this tension in your trapezia?
I'm not sure. Maybe I was 12.
Okay. And what's happening? Where are you?
I was practicing gymnastics and I had a lot of pressure because I was in a competition.
Okay. So are you about to compete? Where are you? What's happening precisely?
I'm competing, and I'm doing an exhibition,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm failing.
You're failing. Okay, so how are you feeling in that moment?
Painful and frustrated.
Okay. What did you want to do or say in that precise moment from your 12-year-old perspective that you didn't do or say in that moment?
It's not a problem. It's not important.
It's not important. Okay. Who did you want to say it to?
To me,
Okay. Is that what you wanted to tell yourself when you were 12 years old, or is that your adult self now trying to talk to your 12 years old?
it's my adult trying to.
Yeah. And that's okay. So let's go back to the 12-year-old. You're competing and you're failing and you're frustrated and it's painful. As the 12-year-old, what do you want to do or say right then that you didn't do or say?
I want to start from the beginning.
That's what you wanted to do, but what did you actually want to do physically in that moment that you could have done that you didn't do?
Cry.
Okay. All right. So take a deep breath in. Everybody does the same thing. Hold your breath and see yourself crying in the middle of your competition. And let it go wherever it wants to go. And tell me when you start breathing again. All right. How's the sensation now?
It's better.
Okay. You were at a 7. How much is it now?
4.
Okay. All right. And if some of you have a sensation that increased, don't make it mean anything. It just increased. Usually it will go down, but sometimes it will increase. So I'm going to ask all 3 of you to keep your eyes closed. Same for everybody else. And I'm going to ask you to tell me how present you are right now. So Jacob, you can start.
8 out of 10, I'd say.
Okay. And how resistant are you right now?
4.
Okay. Justine, how present are you right now?
7,
Okay. How resistant are you?
3,
Okay. And Angela?
9 and 3.
Okay. All right. If you did the exercise by yourself, you can go back in the chat and share now your level of presence and your level of resistance. So I'm going to ask you to also imagine, because you all have an increased level of presence and a decreased level of resistance in a 10-minute exercise. So imagine if you could always act from that presence. What would that be like? Then you can answer me, Angela and Justine and Jacob.
Much
What
better.
would that be like? Much better. Okay.
Yeah. Would be ideal.
Okay. How about you, Justine?
better.
Better. Okay. Great. So I'm reading in the chat, and you can open your your eyes now if you want. People have 10 levels of present. 1 resistant would be great, really excellent. Okay, so let's just, so you know, it's a 10-minute exercise that you just did. Now let me explain a little bit what we did, right? I said that we were gonna look at an exercise about the mistake, the first mistake that we do that prevents us from being present and instinctive is usually, and let me share my screen again so that we go back to the slides for those who like to see text being written. Oh, I did a mistake. I'm going to only keep myself there. Let's see if that works. Hang in there. No. All right, so I'm gonna remove you guys for a second so that it doesn't take the whole screen, and then you'll come back. There we go. And there we go. All right, so so the slides have disappeared. And if you can mute yourselves, no slides. All right, let's see what's happening. This is the joy of technology. We get to, you know, have a webinar with hundreds of people all around the world, and we also get to not have it working. It's not working. All right, so what I'll do is I'll keep it small for you guys, so at least that's working. Okay, so the first mistake we usually do that prevents us from being instinctive is that we try to be instinctive by suppressing the uncomfortable feelings. And if you've noticed, what we have done in this exercise is we went towards the uncomfortable feelings, right? I asked you the name, the intensity, the color, the shape. I asked you to go towards it, to be with it. Result, you're more present. What we usually do is we try to do the opposite, right? Let me try again to have the big slide so it looks better. Oh, good Lord, it won't give it to me. Maybe there's another one. No, there isn't. Okay, well, it's what it is. So usually what we're trying to do is we're trying to fight uncomfortable emotions so you can feel the positive ones. So you go to an audition and you feel tense and you're gonna try and get rid of that and hide that so you can feel better. And that really does the opposite of what you wanna be doing. So another way that we try to deal with those emotions when we're on an audition or on set or on stage is we're trying to relax before we act so that we hide what we really feel, right? We're trying to be confident. We're trying to look good, right? So, oh, I'm sorry guys that we're having this tech difficulty, but you can still see it. So why do we have this happening to us? Why do we try to hide those real authentic feelings that we're having? So that's the first level of the rope was put around us by parenting. So when our parents raise us, they raise us with saying, don't yell, don't get angry, don't even be sad, right? As soon as you get sad, what the parents do to a little baby is, shh, you're okay, shh, you're okay. When the baby is feeling, I'm not okay, and I'm crying. So the way that we are conditioned is to not feel what we feel, because there is a good feeling and there are bad feelings. And so our parents put that first rope around our feet saying, no, 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 you can't be in touch with those impulses. You have to restrain that. Then you go to school, and at school is where you build your self-worth, right? You start being part of the community and you learn things and you build your value. And at school, they tell you to come for 7 hours, sit, be quiet, listen, go to the bathroom when you're told, drink when you're told, eat when you're told, speak when you're told. I think that if we were sending adults to the office that way, it would probably be illegal. but we still send our children to a school where they're being told that basically whatever they think or is going on in there is not what we're looking for. They are being told to behave. And really their self-worth depends on it. Because if you don't behave, or you don't do exactly what you're told, or you don't fit and you don't do it like the others, well, then there's repercussions, right? So you get bad notes, then your parents withdraw a little bit of love. So it's all too painful. So we accept it. So that's the second rope that goes all around your legs and your thighs and your belly. Then you get a little bit bigger and you want to fit in society and in the culture. And in the culture, everybody's being raised the same way. Everyone is behaving like a little robot. We don't feel these things. Those things are good. Those things are bad. Those things are right. Those things are wrong. And we all behave the same way. So the third level of that rope that goes around your neck and that prevents you from really being who you are is that you have to fit. So to get the love from your parents and to survive, because basically they make you survive when you're little, you'll adjust your feelings. At school, you'll adjust your behaviors and you'll start to get the wiring of how you need to grow is by listening to external information. And in society, in order for you to fit and find a spot, you're going to do the same thing everyone else is doing, which is the two things above. So you have now a rope that is all around you, okay? So the problem is that when you try to be instinctive and you suppress the emotions, you really shut down your instrument and your instinct. Because if this is your instrument, it's like a vessel, and you have an impulse coming in, and you say, oh no, I can't feel the stress, you're basically closing your instrument, right? So if you close it, well, it's closed. Nothing else will come out of it, right? So that's why it disconnects you from all of the other impulses and your instinct. So when you do that, you're really taking care of your ego. You're not taking care of the character because you're wanting to look good. So you're not doing your job. You're taking care of yourself, whereas you're there to take care of the character. So it really forces an outcome in the future because you want to look good. So you're not in the present. So you can't be instinctive. So hiding what you really feel by pretending to be confident is actually really fake. It's not authentic. It's generic. And it's really easily spotted. So casting directors can see that when you're in the room and you're just pushing all these things down and putting a mask on top of it to look good and appear confident and relaxed. They can see it. We all have the same antennas. So it's not fulfilling. It's a lot of hard work and it's exhausting. So when you stop trying to be instinctive and suppressing these emotions, you can be here right now, just like you guys experimented. You didn't stop the sensations. You just went with them. So you started being present in 10 minutes, which is nothing, right? You start being instinctive naturally with ease. There's no hard work. There's actually no work. You're just feeling what you're feeling. So you become authentic, you get in the zone, you start being fulfilled, and therefore you become magnetic and undeniable. All right, so resetting your instrument makes being instinctive natural. You never have to try to be instinctive. You are instinctive. You are feeling what you're feeling, just like we did together in the exercise. And that's how you undo the rope. All right? Okay, so I want to share, and I'm going to try again to have you guys see this because it might be too small, especially if you're watching this on a phone. Okay, so it's still not working. Let me try to just do this with it. I'm going to try and, I'm sorry about this. I'm just going to refresh, and that might do it for us. Okay. Wow, magic. That's the blonde technique. Whoops. The blonde technique is when you refresh, it works. All right, so my top 3 celebrations, this is Anne Gillian, who was sharing a testimonial. She had 2 gigs back to back. It went incredibly well. felt grounded, was so aware of how simple it was to listen to my impulses, which is what we've just seen. When you listen, it's right there. Had a blast. Again, so different, she says, which is underlined here in red, from what I used to feel. I used to feel like I had a map and I had to stick to it no matter what. It felt like so much work. Yeah, because if you're trying to push all these emotions down and put a fake mask on it, it's a lot of work. That is where the hard work is. And now it's so much fun because you can just be with whatever there is. All right. Okay, mistake number 2, believing that there's something wrong with you and that you need to be fixed so you can become better. So that's the second mistake that is preventing you from being instinctive. So it looks like this. You've been taking acting classes and you're still not able to be instinctive when you need to. So you think there has to be something wrong with you, right? And some actors are just free. So you think there must be something about you that's not working. Because if you're taking the classes and it works on some people, then there must be something wrong with you. So then you take more classes and you think, if this class doesn't fix me, I need to do more. I need to learn everything there is to know, and I need to learn from the best. So why do we do this? The reason is that we have been raised this way. We've been raised believing that there is a right and a wrong in what we feel, right? We've been raised to not do what we want. We've been raised to sit, listen, do what you're told, or you'll be wrong, and therefore you'll be bad. So learning from outside of you is the only way that you got to be loved, you got to fit, and you got to have any success and value. So you did it. You drank the Kool-Aid. So trying to fix and improve because there is something wrong with you, the problem with that is it's a never-ending story because there is nothing wrong with you. Obviously, you're starting to get it. You trust others and their methods over you, over your instinct, over your instrument. So that fosters people-pleasing. So that's where people-pleasing starts to arise. If they are the ones that know how to do it right, well, I better please them, right? Because then I'll get the rewards, which is how it worked at school and how it worked at home. So when you do that, the problem is that you're really missing out on your potential. Your potential is inside. It's not outside from what other people tell you to do. So it costs a lot of money to go from class to class, always hoping that someone will color the rope in another color or try to make it bend a different way, but you still are walking around with that rope. So it's a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of hard work, because how do you lift up your arm when you're inside that rope? It's binding. It's impossible to lift up your arm. So it's just an illusion to think that external stuff will make you able to move and be instinctive. You're just within that rope, right? So all of that, of course, when you take a lot of classes, it leads to overwhelm because it never works. You never get where you want to get. You learn a lot, like I did, but you never are able to rely fully on your instinct. So it can lead to desperation, and a lot of actors are lost. And some, which I sometimes do polls in my Facebook group, yes, a lot of actors sometimes think about quitting. And that's very irrelevant with this type of career. You choose acting because it's a huge passion, right? It's a love story to be an actor. So all the pain that goes with it is really not necessary. The suffering is not necessary. It's inconsistent to be that passionate and to want to quit. There's no need for that. Okay, so when you stop trying to fix and you stop trying to learn all the time and make yourself better, what you stop doing is you stop feeling like you're not good enough. You stop working too hard. You stop feeling frustrated. You stop feeling powerless. You stop endlessly trying to improve or wasting your time and training in a way that doesn't produce the outcome you're looking for, which is to be 100% instinctive and in the zone. So when you stop doing that, you can start relying on yourself, because you're not relying on external information anymore. You're relying on the life that is inside of you, right? You're hearing yourself. like you started doing in the first exercise. You're finding your power. You're being instinctive, free, and you can start to get in the zone. So resetting your instrument connects you with how utterly perfect you are, and you become free to be yourself. Okay, let's look at the third mistake. Or first, let's look at this beautiful Meghana Modian testimonial about, stopping to learn a lot and really starting to get inside. So she says, I found Joe's class at a time when I was questioning how I could connect more deeply with material. I signed up on an impulse. I could not be more thankful. It turned out that I had been asking the wrong question. What I needed to learn was how to connect more deeply with my emotions, how to be free and confident in expressing them, and how to recognize and work with my resistance to doing all of that. Joe's brilliant at helping people navigate these issues in a highly personalized and incredible, effective way. This is the part that's interesting. I have had, well, all of it is interesting, but the most interesting. I have had more breakthroughs in a few short weeks of working with Joe than I've had in years of formal acting training. It's been a gift to my acting, but also to life. All right, so, there we had the part that was interesting. Okay, so the third mistake that is preventing you from being instinctive is that you've been instinctive and you got in the zone once or twice, and you hope you will feel this bliss again one day. So you've had the experience of it, and you just hope it's gonna come back, right? So it looks like this. You're free in a scene or in a movie or wherever. You love the feeling of it, but you actually have no idea how it happened. It just happened. It was magic, and you don't know how you got there. So another way that we sometimes feel this, if you do an intensive workshop, for example, you feel super high about it when it's over, but the next week the high disappears. So something else that often happens that I hear a lot of actors that I start working with say is that they prep for an audition at home and it feels amazing, and they're rehearsing and they're confident, and then they get in the car and they start to feel the shrinking. And then as soon as they get in the room and the casting director says action, boom, there's nothing. Everything goes out the window and they feel frozen. So something else is that you start believing the legend. There is a legend out there in the industry that you can only sometimes feel the mysterious magic of instinct. And you start believing it because you've been wired to believe what you're told, right? Over what you feel. So oftentimes I often hear actors say also that they're great with instinct when everything works well. But as soon as there's trouble and challenge on set, or in the casting room, or even in the waiting room, then instinct goes out the window. And needless to say, on a set, things go messy. So it really is rarely the right circumstance, apart from your bedroom, maybe. All right, so the reason we do this is because the people with authority told us so. And we believe that because that's how we were raised, right? We drank the Kool-Aid when we were little, so we're no longer our natural self, which was to be free. When you were a child, you were completely free. But you believed all of it, and the ropes came around you all the way up, and then you're stuck in it. So you've never relied on your instinct, so it can't actually be there for you. Your instinct is idle, so you have it once, and you think it might be there one other day, but it's really unused. It's sitting under your resistance, under the ropes, and you can't do anything else but hope for it, because the ropes will prevent you from accessing it, right? So hoping to be instinctive is settling for much less than what you're made for, because it's powerless. There's no power in hope. You're missing huge opportunities, just like I did when I was up for that big role in the Besson movie. Acting is actually not fulfilling at all, and you miss out on the actual bliss of acting. The reason why you started being an actor was to feel that bliss, that flow, that zone, that instinct. Acting is the art of being alive. It's not the art of faking. It's the art of being alive. And yes, that flow is like the nectar of life. It's delicious, and you're missing out on it if you're just hoping it's going to come back. when you stop the hoping, you can start to take care of your instrument. You start to be instinctive no matter what. You're able to use everything you feel, and you're powerful in any circumstance. So resetting your instruments makes being instinctive 100% guaranteed. And we'll talk more about that later. So let's look at more testimonials. Diego is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanted to share my greatness with you. I had a one-of-a-kind experience today. This typo is because he's Spanish. In one of my auditions where I could feel just everything I wanted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the bottom line is resetting your instrument to be instinctive is like being alive in the room. And that is what casting directors are looking for and go crazy about, because it's extremely, extremely rare. Problem is, you can't be instinctive at all without a strategy and a structure in place, because you cannot undo the rope by yourself. Your arms are in there. It goes from your feet all the way to your neck. So you can push on it. You can try to get your arm out. You can't. You need a structure to do that. All right, so let's talk about the reset journey, right? Which is the full program that some of you will want to dive in and experiment fully. So it's a 3-step structure, and I'll talk about the steps, to reset your instrument to be 100% instinctive, free, alive, and undeniable, right? So it's not a bunch of tricks, it's not a method, it's not a technique, and it's all been tested and proven to work by myself and hundreds of other actors. So the steps that are not a method involve this. We undo the rope, we wake up the instinct, and then we fly, right? So let's look at the first mindset shift. We unlearn. So that's, if we go back to the analogy, it's undoing the ropes, right? It's the conditioning, the resistance that you were built on. Without doing that, I think that you now understand there is no way you can access that instinct. There's no way you can feel an impulse and follow it, because you are binded by the rope, or bound. I never know the difference. And I know this, and I keep making the mistake. I don't get better. So, all right, so your instrument is restrained right now, right? Because the rope is around it. And to access the power of your instrument, you really need to undo the resistance, the rope. So what we do in the reset journey, which is a 33-day reset journey, we decompose, we purge, we undo the toxic resistance, which is the patterns that are keeping you stuck in the tension, in the block, in the fear. It's the rope. We do that with physical exercises, emotional exercises, vocal exercises, breathing exercises, written and kinetic. There's about 20 exercises that we practice together. So, important, you cannot access your instrument, which is naturally instinctive. That's who you are. That's who you were born to be. When you were little, you were completely instinctive. You would go from a deep anger to utter joy in a split second. You were feeling what you were feeling. And you cannot do that. You cannot access that if you're restrained by the ropes, by the resistance, right? Again, acting is the art of being alive. So, what is possible is to quit the hard work of being resistant, of trying to be instinctive with the ropes around you. It's a lot of hard work, and you get this much result. Then you can reconnect to your true self, your impulses, your instinct, your zone, and your power. So what happens is you start getting comfortable with feeling what you feel. Because right now, you've tested it for 10 minutes, but I was directing you. It's another thing to actually rewire you to be comfortable to feel what you feel, right? So you stop acting, and you can start being effortless, and your resistance actually becomes power. All right. So I know that this might sound a little bit scary or strange to let go of the structure that you now know, because it's safe and it's control. But there is really much more power and deliciousness inside of you than in that rope. So I think that deep down you know this, and the freedom that you had as a child is really a proof of that, and it is bulletproof too. It's there, it didn't die, it didn't get broken. There's just a rope around it. That's all there is. So you can reset your instrument to be what it's meant to be. Okay, a testimonial. I love this image that she put in her little note. So Julianne Lichty is actually an acting coach herself, and she took the journey, I think, last month. And she says, it's freaking brilliant. I'm on day 9, and it's blowing my mind. And I like how it feels like it's the resistance is melting. The ropes are melting. All right, so the second mindset shift that we do in this structure is that we awaken your instrument, right? Discover, build, and start relying on your instinct. So your instinct has been blocked by your resistance under the ropes for too long. So it's not working. You need to wake it up, okay? So it's been asleep because it was unsolicited. And when the ropes are off, there's room for you and your instinct to start to unfold. So for this part, we have about 30 exercises that are, again, physical, emotional, vocal, breathing, written, kinetic, to really go at it from every single angle, not just one angle. We get into your instrument and your instrument from every angle so that we can reset and rewire your instrument to function on what it's meant to function. It's instinct. That's the most natural thing you have going on. So if you don't build your instinct back up, it has no way to be there for you. So you might want to be instinctive, and you might kind of try to figure out how to undo the rope by yourself, but then you're there with a little instinct that's been unnurtured and unused and is really unable to be there for you because it's been sitting in the dark for too long. All right, so what we do here is we're really, once you are able to wake up your instinct, you can feel the bliss of getting in the zone, right? You can be unpredictable when you act, like in life, like you're alive. So the impulses come, you're not controlling them, you're not planning them, you're limitless. Casting loves people who are alive and 100% instinctive. So it's magnetic, they wanna have you. So the only reason not to, let me move this, to do this is if you want to be right? If you want to stay in control, then you shouldn't do this, because I get it. You know, it's scary. It's really it's like getting rid of your safe engine and using one that you don't know. So I get how scary that can be, but I want you to be aware that when your instinct is fully available, it's beyond anything that you can imagine. And you'll be able to see that on the website and in the testimonials. It's beyond anything, and it's definitely beyond control and being right. So Meryl Streep has a good way of saying this. She says, the difference between a good actor and a great one is that the great one is ready to go out on a limb. The great actor is ready to not control and determine in advance everything he's going to do. The great actor doesn't need to know how he's going to act, because he's going to be alive. And when you're alive, you have no idea what's going to happen, right? Doesn't mean you don't prep, but you're alive. Okay. Okay, let's look at another testimonial. Pablo, hello. Pablo is in Miami. He's Argentinian. So yesterday, straight from the Q&A, went to shoot a scene, and I was so free. And it's only the first week of the journey. I can't wait to keep absorbing. Okay, so mindset shift number 3 is fly. All right, so you want to become unmessable with in any circumstance with your instinct. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, I was very instinctive, but I didn't get along with the partner, so I wasn't instinctive. You really don't want to do that. So you want to have results that stick by going beyond the inspiration and into the transformation. So again, acting classes will inspire you. They're smart and really interesting, but the transformation undoing the old patterns and building the new ones is only something that you can do from the inside. It's not external stuff that comes to you. So yeah, to become a pro, you need to be consistent, you need to be accountable, and that's how you get the results. Okay, so I want you to understand that in your brain, you have something called neural pathways. They're like the little tunnels that are in your brain. And when you're little, your brain comes without them. And as you experiment life and the conditioning that your parents are giving you and the school is giving you, you start digging up some little neural pathways, some little tunnels. So even if you wanted now to not block those emotions and to just go with them, your neural pathways are not set up for that. So your instrument will still follow the existing tunnels. So the flying part of this journey is really to give your instrument 25 to 30 days to rewire your brain, to do new tunnels. If not, you can't transform. So again, classes will teach you, but you can't transform with external information. Transformation is something that happens from within with repetition. So once that happens, you get your power back once and for all. It's like learning to ride a bike. No one can teach you how to ride a bike. You have to experience it. And once you experience it and you find balance, you have it forever. And this is the same thing for instinct, for finding it back. So instinct that you can rely on in any circumstance means that you're not inspired for a little bit, that you have rewired, reset your instrument so that you have new tunnels in there, that your instinct is showing up for you, not your head, not your resistance, not the ropes. A new transformed you is now there. So that's how you can get in the zone no matter what. And I understand that some people might be resisting to this part because resistance, once you start working on it, it calls for more resistance, but it really takes a pro to be a pro. So the reason why this journey is 33 days is for you to get from one place to the next and not just understand or be inspired or have aha moments, not even breakthroughs. It's really about going from here to here. And once you have it, it's done, right? So for that, you need to have skin in the game, because this is my little 2-cent joke. No accountability equals no transformation equals no instincty. All right. Okay, let's read some more testimonials. Okay, Elena, what? Now, pinned for a super hot show. This was Friday after all my 33-day journey work. Went out for a print job, got an avail, then went out for a TV show, and now I'm pinned. Okay. Next one from Elena. Come on. I mean, really, come on. I booked a hot TV show. I shoot on Tuesday. You're the bomb. Thank you for making me very uncomfortable. Because this work doesn't have to be, but can be uncomfortable, because I'm going to ask you guys to work from a total upside down perspective. It goes against everything that you know. All right. Another testimonial. Oh my God, this is Alana, I think. Callback was fantastic, very comfortable. Came in for collaboration, warmed up, came with my choice, was alive, behind, reacting to everything in the moment. New things came out unplanned. The director said he had no notes because he loved me, called me beautiful, extremely talented, and said he loved how I made everything my own and natural. The CD turned to him and said, I told you she's excellent. I was jumping inside. Okay. Another person. So I think this is, Robert was in the last journey, and it was after a few days of journey. So I have to share. This morning I went to my first audition since starting this journey. It was for a commercial telenovela style. I read the role of a cancer hospice patient. I went in, it was more relaxed, more confident, more receptive, and in tune with myself than I have ever been at any audition ever. It was amazing and liberating. Okay, so this is only 2 days in the journey. So the journey is 33 days. He does 2 days, and that's what he's experiencing. So, all right, so all of this freedom that these guys are talking about, it didn't happen because they tried harder. So now you get that, right? Each of these actors were instinctive and free because they just simply started resetting their instrument. And those guys are talking about results when they're not even through the journey. I think Elena was 1 or 2 weeks in, Pablo was 1 week in, and Robert was apparently 2 days in. So it goes very fast because of how much power you guys have inside. Okay, if you're confused, because this might be confusing and it's really not what you've heard out there, I want you to take away one thing only. You already are instinctive and you can reconnect with it without hustling from class to class to fix yourself. There's nothing to fix, you're perfect. And there's no need to always learn more. Everything that you need to know about being fully alive is inside of you. No one can teach you how to be alive, right? Okay, so I've designed this 33-day journey to make it easy for you to go from being resistant to being completely instinctive. So the big question is, how can you reset your own instrument and be 100% instinctive, and in the zone all the time, have a crazy good time, and book the roles you want? You have two choices. First choice, you can figure it out, right? You can spend the time, you can spend the effort and the research on your resistance until you get to the instinct, and then you can muscle it up. Or you can get it done. You can let me coach you from resistance to freedom with the reset journey day after day. You can be done once and for all in 1 month. So what is the 33-day reset journey from resistance to freedom? It's daily coaching for 33 days. It's actually a little more than 33 days, but in theory, it's 33. You get every day 30-minute exercises on your resistance and 30-minute exercises in freedom, right? So that's 1 hour a day. There's pre-recorded Q&A sessions and a couple extra sessions. So that's 40 hours in total, right? You get direct access to me for 2 live Q&As during your month. You're part of a private and very supportive community with actors doing the same work you're doing, going through the same things, and they're very supportive of each other. You can have access to the headshot bonus or the killer reel bonus. I hope you voted for that. And you have lifetime access, meaning once you get in this program, you have it forever. You can review it as many times as you want, and you still have access to the private community where all the actors are supporting each other and where I come twice a month for the Q&A. So you have lifetime access to that. All right, so little reminder about the bonus for the people who are going to take a fast action during this webinar, and let's say for an hour after, right? So you'll have from now until, what's the time? Let's say until 2:30. You can get these 2 bonuses when you get into the journey. And Yolanda, who is working with me, will post a link of the sales page where you can actually see the details of the program, and you can get in the chat so that you guys can get in there. So again, the headshot bonus is a way for you to have fun when you do your headshots, to really get your uniqueness to shine through and to impact so that you actually get called in, right? Your reel is a way to make a reel if you don't have one, or to upgrade your existing one, but in a way that will again shine your uniqueness and impact casting directors so they actually want to call you in. Okay, all right, so you have lifetime access to the 33-day reset journey. That's 40 hours of coaching. You have the private Facebook community for accountability and support and questions. You have direct access to me during the Q&As. And let me see something. I'm gonna check what you guys voted for. You can have access to the headshot or the killer reel. Let's see what you guys voted for and we'll see. Important. This is online and you might still not know who I am, so I want you to feel comfortable. You get your money back guarantee, right? So it's risk-free. If you do the work, if you prove that you do the work and you don't get these results, I want you to have your money back. And in all the time that this journey has existed, no one has ever even been close to asking for their money back, because this program is way worse, way bigger in value. Sorry, that's a funny lapsus. Much, much bigger in value than the price you will pay, right? Because you will get access to you. And that's limitless, it's infinite. So the reason why I know that I can give a money back guarantee is that once you tap in yourself, you can't fail, right? And I'm not teaching you anything. I'm basically guiding you back to what is already there, so it can't fail. All right, so the price. You can get started with 3 installments of 145, or you can pay in full, which is a little cheaper, which is 375. Okay, so again, you have the 40 hours, the private community where you get to support each other. You have the live Q&As, lifetime access, and one of the bonuses. This is the page. If Yolanda has probably put it in the chat by now, but I don't have access to the chat, so I can't check. Really, really crucial, 0 risk refund policy. I want you guys to feel that if you have doubts, I want you guys to be able to jump in thinking, if this doesn't work for me, I'll get my money back. If you do the work that this coaching is telling you to do, you will get your instrument back and you will not want your money back. But if you didn't, it has never, ever happened, you have a guarantee that you will get your money back. And I think that's crucial because you might not know me, and so it's important to make you feel safe about your investment. All right, so there's more testimonials. I think that maybe considering the time, I want to give you guys a little bit of time for Q&As. So I'll give you access to more testimonials in the website. There's video testimonials, there's written testimonials. You can take time to read a couple or watch a couple or see all of them. Whatever will help you understand whether this is right for you or not. I want you guys to have access to that. Okay, so I think that the question isn't really, is it worth it? Because if you do the math, this is about $10 an hour. So I don't think it gets cheaper than that. But rather, how much is it worth to you to be 100% instinctive again, just when you were little? Just like when you were a child, you were 100% instinctive and free, and you can get that back. I wanted this price, this journey is worth so much more than the price you're paying. It's probably worth 10 times more, but I know I'm dealing with actors, and I wanted you guys to have an easy access to this program because it does miracles. It gets you back to who you are, and I don't think there's anything that's more important than that. All right, so when you go on the website, you will see the 2 options. You can choose which one works best for you, and then you'll get directed to PayPal, and you'll put your information there. For the ones who want to use PayPal credit, that works really well too. It has 0% interest. It doesn't get on your credit score. You can just, when you go through PayPal and it's asking you how you want to pay with your account or your credit card, it's also going to ask you, do you want PayPal credit? And then they give you, 0 interest, and you can pay them back in 6 months. So that's also an option if you're interested. And voila, so let's do Q&As. Let me see, and first of all, I'm going to see what you guys voted for in terms of bonus. Killer reel. So we have 2 killer reel, 1 bonus, killer reel, 2 killer reel. Ah, it's even. It's even. Okay, so I'm going to do something special for you today because I won't have time to count it, and I'm going to dash off after this. I'm actually leaving on a vacation, and so everyone should have fun with this. I'll give you guys both bonuses. So for the fast action takers, if you register right now in this journey, and Yolanda must have put the link is there if you want to register, and until 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll give you access to both bonuses so that everybody's happy. I can't do the tabs right now, so I'm happy to give you both. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Yolanda, you can let me know if you see questions that I'm not seeing. And if you guys want to ask now and you haven't asked any, you can do that. Okay, I'm seeing all your levels of resistance and freedom that moved. Great. For the moment, I don't see any questions. So if you have any, you can ask in the Q&A. If I don't get to them, I'll usually answer them by email. All right. Okay. So I don't see any questions. I'm gonna.
I tried to type a question in, but it's not working.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. So did you try to type that in the Q&A?
I think I am in the Q&A. I see this box and it says open, no answered question, open questions.
Yeah, but that's okay. You're here. I can listen to you. I'll bring you back. And then if you have questions, what is your question, Justine?
Thank you. I wanted to know, so basically, what are we getting every day? We get a half-hour thing and a half-hour thing that's a video of you telling us something. I just wanted to know what it is that we get.
Yeah. So you're getting every day, you're going to train every day with 1 hour training. And that hour is divided in half an hour resistance, half an hour freedom. So every day we'll do work on your resistance, work on your freedom. For actually 30, I can't remember if it's 34 or 35 days. The program is originally 33, but I extended it. So I still call it 33 because it sounds good, but actually you're getting more than that. So yes, every day you get the video and you do the exercises. That's what you're getting. You also have a working sheet. You have, this is all happening on a website, of course. In the Facebook group, you can upload your videos. That's where you have a connection with me and with the other members of the community. So yeah, that's the package you're getting.
So you're uploading your videos of you doing the exercises? And
yeah. Some people do that every day. Some people will do that only once a week. Some people never do it. But once you're in the program, that's something that we start connecting and talking. And the best way to do it is to upload because it keeps you very accountable. It doesn't mean you have to, but it keeps you very accountable.
And when you upload your video, do you look at it and comment, or do other people look at it and comment?
Some people comment. Yeah, I don't. So what you have with me is direct access to me twice during your journey for the Q&A. But I see sometimes the video, sometimes I'll get in there. But this version of the program doesn't give you access to me looking at all the videos. I would go crazy because there's too many actors in there. Yeah, but it's great for you to upload. And again, I'll say that 90% of the actors don't upload. So it's not necessary. It's a recommendation. And
then twice a month, twice during the 33 days or 40 days, you give an hour Q&A kind of thing like this or something?
5-minute Q&A. Yeah, that usually extends into an hour. But in theory, it's 45 minutes where we are like this. We see each other and you ask me questions and go, okay, in that day I tried that exercise and why am I feeling this and what's happening with that? And I would say that 10% of the people usually show up in the Q&A. So there's not many of you guys in the Q&As. And it's a great opportunity to get my eyeballs on your work.
Okay, and then the 2 videos are separate, like a 30-minute one and a 30-minute one, so you could do like
no, it's one video and it's just separate. We spend 30 minutes on your resistance and then we switch to your freedom.
Okay, so you could split it up though in doing it, like you could do half of it in the morning and half it in the evening or whatever.
No. I wouldn't recommend it. So there's something about the neural pathways that is really, the plasticity of it is really affected by how much you're on it all the time. It's really a muscle. So the second you retract, so we usually mostly start with resistance. If you get that resistance to melt a little bit and you don't jump in the instinct straight away, you've lost all that goodness, right? And then if you do one day and then you decide to take a break for 1 week, guess what happens? It's just like if you train for a marathon, right? If you take breaks, you're not working on your muscles. So this is designed for you to be done with it, to go from A to Z in 1 month. And you can still cater it to your needs and your schedule. And sometimes people will have to miss a day because they're shooting. And then they'll go 3 days back and start again. So everyone finds their rhythm with it. but it's designed to be done in 35 days.
And to be done 1 chunk hour devoted each day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. I see other questions. Thank you for this information. I'm glad to take this time, Jennifer. So it's not a method. I don't know who is D because I don't see your name. Someone is asking me, is this a method? Is it based on a specific psychological method or tradition? It's really, in the research that I did, D, so I don't know what your name is, but Desiree, maybe your name is? So it's really like a mixture of a lot of approaches. So again, there's, kinetic work, there's breath work, there's EFT, there's so many different approaches. The idea is, and the theory behind it that is scientifically proven is really about the neural pathways, is that if you want to transform the way you perceive and react to things, you need to undo those old tunnels and build new ones. And there is research about that. So it is not a method because it's really just undoing the stuff that doesn't work for you and waking up the stuff that was already there. So if there was a method, I would call it kids. Just remember how you felt when you were a kid. You were feeling everything you were feeling. So that's what we're going for here. I'm just taking off the layer of ropes that was put around you that is preventing you from being actually who you're meant to be. So if I had to call this a method, which is not, because you already are that, it's just we need to get rid of those ropes and wake it up. That's all. That's the method. Jennifer is asking if I work with people personally. I don't anymore work with people personally unless they have done this pre-work before, because I cannot provide this 33-day structure one-on-one. And this journey and structure really holds people super accountable, really one step after the other. And once you get that in 1 month, then we can start talking. I don't take many actors privately. I still do sometimes, but never before doing this work, because it would just be a waste of your money and time. I wouldn't be able to be there 33 days in your agenda in a row physically. So it wouldn't be worth it for you. So Adam is saying his PayPal is not working. Okay, Adam, I'm gonna write your name so that if it works out later and you are trying to get in for bonus, you can still get that. Adam King Shot, thanks for letting me know, good idea. Okay, who else is there? Yes, maybe it's Desiree again, is asking if she can start later. Yes, you can definitely join the program and you can start it whenever you want. I like people to start together because then there's a lot of participants going through the same things together, but that's it, absolutely not always everyone starts at the same time. I would say that usually 30% of the people who join, who are going to sign up for April 15th, are going to, 30% are going to start directly, another 30% are going to start 1 or 2 weeks after, and then the other rest of that will start whenever, maybe a month later. So that's why the online practicality is really convenient, because you can really make it work for you. Oh, it was Didier. Okay, thank you. You're not a woman, Didier. You're a dude. All right. No. Okay, I think those are all the questions. Maybe I'll look at, oh, you're back, Justine. Let me look at this gun. How many people are there in the class? Is it live at a certain time every day? No, so you get videos and you do it yourself, right? So I can't tell you how many people will be joining the journey at the end of this presentation. You have 4 days, I think, from today. So I'll close the shopping cart on Friday. So you have, yeah, from now till Friday to join. And usually there'll be 10, 20 people at a time doing it. but you'll be doing it with yourself and with the recordings, and you'll connect with me in the Q&A and in the support group, and that's where you'll see the other participants. Yes, Anna, you get material via email, on a website, you get links. It's a whole program, so it's all done to be very easy for you. And you get links, you get access to the program, to the sheet, to some advice, to the private community, to the links for the Q&As with me. So yeah, you receive all of that good stuff. Online is super easy, and you guys would never be able to show up in a classroom 33 days in a row from all the different countries you're in. So yeah, online works great. Yes, Justine.
Thank you. So I just heard you mention, I didn't know this, and I just wanted to confirm. So this is going to go out on April 15th. That's the first day?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So you can get in the program now until Friday, and then we start on April 15th.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Yes, Lily, if you missed the beginning, but you did log in, you will get a replay. The only people who get a replay are the people who were in the presentation and you logged in, so the system will automatically send you the replay as soon as it's processed and ready. So someone is asking me about industry workshops. I don't know about industry workshops. But you can definitely find them online. You have another question?
Yes. Sorry. I can't figure out the typing thing. Sorry. Okay. I wanted to know the bonuses that you mentioned, those are only until an hour from now, like 2:30. And what form do those come in? I'm just curious.
Same thing. They're online programs.
Okay.
Yeah. You get a video, you get worksheets, and then you do the work.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. So someone is asking, where can we see the program? So as I was mentioning in the presentation, there's 40 hours of video. So you'll get the 40 coaching sessions. You'll be on a website. So it's online and you'll get access to that. And then you'll do your day 1 and then you'll do your day 2 and then you'll continue. There's also 4 recorded Q&As that are in there. There's 2 extra days that are in there. That's why you have 40 hours. And the Q&As, Juliet is asking, what time are the Q&As? They are usually at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and they're also recorded. So when you miss them, you can see them in a recorded version, and you can send your questions in advance if you know you're going to miss them, so that I can answer them in video, and then you get your answer. So the best way to, because someone is asking me how to see the program, you can't really see it. It's like right now. So you have a video, there's me, there's other actors there doing the exercises, and you look at the screen and you do the exercises as I tell you to do them. So that's what is happening. Oh, you say, oh, okay. So I think, I know that if you haven't taken an online kind of education before, it can seem like a strange thing to do, but it's once you start, it's usually just like a no-brainer. It feels like this. Okay, one new one. It's great for singers. Lily, I think, is asking me for singers. Anne Gillian's testimonial is a singer. Marina from Switzerland is a singer. I've had so many singers do this work, opera singers, and I remember Marina from Switzerland saying, was really mad at the end of the journey. She says, why on earth isn't this the first thing that we do when we start, singing school or acting school? This is totally the missing piece that we don't have. And she wasn't understanding why she didn't have that. And I remember that she hooked me up with her singing school in Switzerland because she wanted me to go and put the program in that, college for singers to make sure that singers would be able to do this work prior to learning where to put their voice. So it's absolutely the same work for singers. All right, I think we're done, guys. If you have more questions, feel free to on the website, there's the email for Yolanda, and you can reach out to us and ask your questions. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable about this decision. I don't want you to be on the fence. It's not a comfortable place to be. So really, if you have even resistance about it or doubts, just send them. Hit me up and tell me what you're dealing with so I can assist you in your decision. This is wonderful work. I'm always, always happy to do it and meet the people who are wanting and are brave enough to do this. So if you're there and you're not totally there, I absolutely want to be of service to you and take the time that you need to discuss it. But don't take too much time because we close the shopping cart on Friday. Okay, I think we're good. All right, well, thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you soon in the journey, in the Q&A sessions. All right, bye. And thank you to the volunteers. You were very brave. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Justine.